We try. Going to go through the dialogue pretty quickly. I mean, we've already had it once, no point repeating it. Can I talk to the Mr. Rat?
So many folks in dark robes passing through here. I've always wondered if those fancy yellow necklaces they're always flashing are made of cheese.
There might be invisibility stealth option here to do something. I mean, why is... what? Let's just go in. See what happens.
But how long has it been a favor? I am arm is unmasked. Oh, my sister dearest. Cassandra, the reason a woman. No man. Alas, yeah.
By the blessed Braccus.
Call me home.
Pool that used to guard the lighthouse. Winds by Fire joined. Braccus Rex, Dietrich the Baron of Bones. So they're all here. I need to find a way to basically stop them from slipping. As long as they do, we're basically... So... where exactly are we gonna go to? Silver Glen Road seems like pretty much the only option for us. We have not much we can do. There are resistances I can put up and things like that, but I get the impression that that's not the way you're supposed to do things, so I don't particularly want to bash my head against the wall there, even though it might be doable. It's so out of balance with what we've experienced before, so I can't see that being the answer. I mean, the game is fairly easy overall. There have been a couple of setbacks, but those have been fairly rare and happen when I don't really... I mean, I have stopped bothering to even check if the new equipment has better values in a lot of places, because it doesn't matter one iota. The game has a harder difficulty though, so I need to make that very clear. And it's it outright tells you that it'll give all the... I think it increases the number of enemies, but also gives them new abilities. So it to me it seems like this normal difficulty is probably not something experienced player actually wants to play. The one tick above this is probably more or less where you get a much more enjoyable overall experience if you have a lot of experience with it. It doesn't matter though, I'm gonna stick with this. If for nothing else, the fact that I know exactly how this goes. Not every game is stable in how they treat their difficulty levels. They can spike and do all kinds of other fancy maneuvering, so it's important to know where the standard difficulty levels lead you.
Yes, good friend. I'm quite busy finding for the moment, but if there's something you'd like to buy, I could set all that aside for a few delicious moments.
Blank skill book earned. Electrified stamped copper amulet water resistance. Charisma. Reflects damage. Water resistance. Are we still looking for some armor pieces? I think we are, but I don't recall what. Metal scraps are now a thing. I think that's pretty much a standard upgrade item. Same with scale scraps. Rapture. Erupt with a barrage of stabs and cuts. Deal 28 to 56 piercing damage each strike. Dagger ability. It's a long cooldown, high action point. Wanted tips for how to upgrade the weapons. No such luck. Can we sell something off? Resistant rings could be very useful. There seems to be a huge amount of fire damage, especially in the boss fight. In order to get good amount of resistances, you basically have to have an entire equipment set of resistances, at least at these levels that I am. The resistances seem to get more powerful as you level up, so maybe later on you can get it with a handful of item pieces. We should take skill books.
Goodbye then, good friend. Goodbye.
But it looks like going north is pretty much our only option, unless we want to stay here and loot the place. But we're not looking for cash at the moment. Where's party go? Is there an easy way to see the party gold somewhere? I mean, usually it's the most common thing you can see in these inventory menus. Because in individual goals doesn't, it's pointless. It's totally irrelevant information. We have about 10,000.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
See if he has new maps for us to
Quiet day on the
sell.
market, it seems.
For us to buy, rather. His goal is...
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
I don't understand how the gold works, but it seems like it's sort of resetting and
Tomatoes.
regrowing at a fairly constant pace. Not sure what the trigger is. I have leveled up after I've seen him the last time though.
Let us see if you
What? Oh, it's you! What news?
White Witch.
Oh, she's a dear girl indeed. She's got a little cabin in the Lacula Forest, not so far to the north of here, in fact. And though she doesn't make it into Sicil often, it's a comfort to know she's keeping the watch near our border. I hope she hasn't got mixed up in all this ugly business with the Counselor.
Braccus Rex.
Well, I suppose as much as any other Thaddeus, Rich, or Harold, a shameful spot upon the history of Rivellon, that brute. As loath as I am to admit it, Sicil was once quite a hub of the despot's supporters. Some even say his corpse was cast beneath the foundations of the abandoned church in the northeastern cliff. An old wives' tale, I say, but I suppose one never knows for sure.
Silver Glen Road, I guess that's the only real place we can go. Ooh. Area transition. Lacula Forest.
Hail, Source Hunter. Good to see you've reached Lacula Forest. There were times when I came to this neck of the woods just to whiff its wholesome air. Alas, that it is thick with sorcery these days.
Sorcery abounds, does it? Fire, water, poison resistance unlocks the skill Blitz bolt. That's a good one. That is a very good one. But again, you seem to be getting better constantly. So in a couple of levels that's totally worthless. At the same time it's only 3000. This would be great if I had a plan with resistances and the like, but since I don't, I think it's mostly wasted.
It surrounds us here, like an invisible mist. Takes cat's eyes to see it creep. Even so, it's plain as day to the east, all about Ikara's cabin. Immaculate beset it, no doubt under Leandra's orders. If she has ordered such thorough defenses of her sister's cabin, we may be certain that whatever lies within will be a prize more precious than butter-baked plaice. That means Ikara herself must be there, Hunter. And it is essential that you find her. Only she can shed light on the details of Leandra's plans. Ha! Zigzags would see you dash rather than mosey. But matters such as these require a thoughtful approach. Leandra and her cronies may be lunatics all, but they're far from brainless. So be wary, Hunter, and be safe.
So east is where we have to go. I suppose going to Silver Glen might not be a horrible idea. I mean, it's the local city here, or town, whatever. You never know what you're going to find.
Spy any traps ahead?
Bees! We really want to take a look at it. Earth elementals, evil smelling flowers. Air works well, slashing works well. I could rush in there, but I don't think that's a good idea. Evil smelling flowers especially, don't want to get too close to them. Same time, maybe I should. Poison. What a shocking development. Hasten to warn. Rage.
Quick-tempered and fleet-footed.
Okay, so that's not an option. We want to ignite them. Poison will ignite too, though. I do want to ignite it, I really do. I know Medora is gonna get screwed, but she's gonna get screwed at anyway. There's 3 enemies right next to her.
Time to set the world on fire!
She did surprisingly well. Too far. Ah, water heals. Or does it? No. No, it doesn't.
I'm burning!
You were supposed to have hovering. You did have hovering.
My life is ebbing away.
Yeah, I'm loading. I don't get the hovering. Where exactly did all those explosions and other things come from if I didn't have touched the ground? Ah, fuck. No.
Hail, so it's it that Leah.
Let's try this again. I want to come from an angle where I can shoot the fireball. Right, last time we got gold, this time it's a magical ring. So this shit is super random. Fire resistance, earth resistance. We have no need for our current equipment though. Air probably works best.
In the name of the goddess, halt! Who goes there?
Source Hunter.
In that case, you can rest easy, Hunter. There is no source to be found here. Only the glory of Immaculate.
What is this place?
Why, it's Silver Glen, of course. Once the abode of miners, now the abode of the faithful. We have traded the search for silver for the pursuit of divinity. I'm sure this sounds strange in what are strangers' ears, but you must know that but a short while ago a frightful sickness felled us by the dozen, until she who speaks for the goddess brought us a cure.
Cure to her own disease, very likely.
She showed us how we may overcome the frailty and even the decrepitude of our mortal bodies. That is why we now live a life of devoutness and civility, so that we may become immaculate. But I suggest you talk to Father Loic if you want to learn more about the ways of the goddess. Be welcome, therefore, to Silverglen. Blessed be all immaculates.
The Immaculates here seem to be a friendly enough bunch.
Seem being the operative word. Let's remain vigilant.
Sentries to guard a pig pen. Keep alert, comrades. There's some fish in this place.
Fire weakness, poison heals. Wait. I want to see if the flowers have any kind of long range attack. Means knockback. Not a surprise. Still good to know. What the hell are you? Initiate. Level 10. Let our warrior woman Medora kill them. So I just need to weaken the one who has more hit points.
Seven arm blows. Die, vermin!
Quick-tempered and fleet-footed.
So you say. I don't want to attack the poison. It might do damage to the initiate. So they do have a long range attack, but if we use the extended attack that the spellcasters have, the extra couple of meters, we outrange them. So the option to just take them out without risking yourself is there. Could let the initiate to go there and die too. I don't really see any point. He's a faceless nobody. He will die. So we just need to keep the fight going for basically an extra turn, and that'll be the end of it. He deserves to die for stealing my XP anyway.
Heaven have mercy on your soul!
The degenerates here claim they have been cleansed, but I can still smell the stink of persisting putrescence wafting from their grimy flesh. Silverglen, this place sickens me.
I see no evidence of sickness about me. Why take it to heart so?
As you know, I once carried the burden of disease upon emaciated shoulders. Perhaps I had better explain in greater detail.
If you please.
By all means, if you're in the mood for such a dark tale.
How you managed to cure yourself?
It went like this, Hunter. If a ghoul I had become, so a dark turn of thought convinced me. A ghoul's methods I should employ to escape the labyrinthian crypt of corporeal corruption. A necromancer I'd be. Yes, only from deep within the deliriums of death would I tunnel my way back into the gardens of life. I did unspeakable things in the dusky dungeons that twist like forgotten veins to long-deceased organs far beneath my castle's sunlit halls. Halls which held my throne and held the bed upon which Heraka slept, her very touch blessing the satin she reposed upon.
Yes, tell me more about your beautiful and talented wife. And all about how your love is pure, but you ignored all the other women who weren't quite as beautiful or talented.
Still there came no relief. Perversions I created in scores, but they were mere undead all. Creatures so piteous that the thought of cheating death in their guise frightened me more than the swing of the scythe itself. Like mosquitoes in the night, panic and despair beset me until I turned to that darkest of all arts, demonology.
You of all people.
It had to be. There was no other way. I could feel the life slipping out of me like love out of a betrayed spouse's heart. So I studied tomes so old the dust that fell from their centuries' unperused pages never knew the light of the stars that now shine. I drew forbidden symbols. I spoke unhallowed words, and from the smoke that rose like a dragon's last breath, a demon appeared to me and said, "Ask, O blighted king, and you shall have." "Just tell me," I cried. "Tell me what ails me."
You asked the demon what ailed you. What was its answer?
Hiraka. Never had I known a single word can cut deeper than the sharpest of daggers. With maddening glee, the demon told me she was one of his kin. A soul-swallowing horror that had been feeding on both my body and my spirit like a leech. An ancient being was she, that moved from king to king throughout the ages, filling their hearts with love, then draining them of life. After such revelations, does one truly desire to live on? Death seemed like a mother then, welcoming me with her all will be well embrace. Yet still I feared exceedingly her seemingly sweet caress, and the oblivion that would follow. Release me from her, demon, and give me back the strength of a sick, free existence. So went my desperate plea. It smiled, of course it did. Smiled bare 100 razors as its eyes came alight with infernal fire. 1,000 years I will give you, it whispered. But then your soul shall be mine to incarcerate in the depths of hellish nemesis. As for your throne, that I'll have now. What say you, O brittle king? Do you accept my terms?
Did you?
I think you know the answer to that question, Hunter. But I've said enough for now. These memories are painful to recollect. So let us turn to the rest of them later. And so let the hunt...
Well, well, well. So our very own demon hunter once dabbled in the so-called darkest of arts himself.
A man so utterly betrayed and dying will grasp at any straw. I can hardly blame him.
Neither can I. Clearly his great love was almost the very death of him. She broke his heart in more ways than one, and I too would go to any lengths to repair it.
Yay, we were considerate. What a fire absorption scrolls, fire avatar scrolls, and eyeballs. Holy hand grenade. Always a classic. Leather ring armor. Next stage in leather armor apparently. I think we should go to the city first. I mean, I'm sure there's at least a handful of quests in this area. So it would be better to get the lay of the land before we stick our nose into anything specific. $16,000 for level. Should be fairly soon.
Over here, Hunter. It's me, Ahu. Source Hunter. You've made it into the hamlet of Silverglen, I see. Unnerving spot, don't you find? Leandra has fashioned herself a hero here, but the townsfolk don't seem to know the truth behind the conduit, though they call themselves Immaculates.
What do you make of these Immaculates?
They're thick as trout, if you ask me. and unnaturally obsessed with ancient teachings. I haven't seen Leandra here myself, but she must have put on quite a show of magical mastery to enthrall a crowd of shaggy miners, to have them hop on the bandwagon of a shadowy religion wholly alien to them.
Which ancient teachings do you mean?
Haven't you heard them whisper of the blood? How their eyes shine when they discuss certain stellar stones? Star stones, of course, which drenched in blood become bloodstones and are used in healing rituals. Now, I can see how it could be a fantastic thing to nurse a dying human back to health, if all it takes is to sacrifice a toad. But I spy bloodlust in these people's eyes. A bloodlust that goes beyond the usual meaning of the word. They all act like they're following a benign goddess that will lead them to paradise. But I'll be a dappled Dalmatian if any of that is true.
Since you've been scouting the place, perhaps you can tell me where I should start looking for shady goings-on.
I've been shadowing the local priest, a man by the name of Loic. I have the feeling he knows more than most in Silver Glen, for I've followed him in the night when he meets with cloaked strangers, and goblins even. Mangoth, Hyberheim. Of strange things I've heard him whisper. Yes, this priest has shady goings-on written all over that smug, holier-than-thou face of his. But we must start at the beginning, Source Hunter. The White Witch is still at large. If we want to get to the true heart of Leandra's doings, we must start with her sister. And she's far likelier to be in her cabin among the trees than here among Leandra's followers.
Why are you walking about Silver Glen in your cat form?
The advantage of being a puss, my friend, is that one can pussyfoot. A white-haired wizard draws attention, but a cat can move about unnoticed and, indeed, unseen. Not that I'm not extra wary of these bloodsuckers, though. There's a conspicuous absence of pets in this eerie little town.
Still have the legend. Ooh. He still has a legendary ring even after I loaded, but it's a different one. Movement, pickpocketing, poison, earth resistance. Immunity to being muted. Seems like a good thing to have if you're a caster. I have a feeling these type of items will be much more useful if you take the difficulty level one step higher. Fairly damage oriented gameplay has been so far. Standard progression is start with damage, then proceed to status effects, then combine all of them into highly specialized forms, or do it all opponents. I think I want the robe. But I haven't faced a single opponent that actually uses the ability, so screw it.
The Immaculate's presence here is highly disconcerting. But we mustn't lose sight of our mission, Source Hunter. The White Witch resides somewhere in the wilds of the surrounding forest, and we must find her.
No shit. Silver Glen. Hopefully we can do this a little bit faster than the thirsty. Well, I don't have to learn crafting again, I suppose.
May the goddess guide you through the forest and keep you safe.
Initiate seems to be like basic fighters, so nothing too impressive.
Blessed be the goddess, and blessed be the conduit.
Chapel.
Welcome be, O seeking souls, to this holy house of Immaculates.
Unbreakable armor. Blacksmithing and crafting gloves. I need more of those, I think, but not sure if gloves exactly. It's all about, do I have the crafting? Yeah.
Give me the strength.
This will just combine the stuff in a single item.
Blood of the lost will flow.
Let me spill blood for thee, oh holy one.
Who are you?
I am Loic, enlightened one among Immaculates, spokesman for the holy conduit, as she is spokesman for the goddess herself. Hers is the blood.
Questions about Immaculates.
Then it shall be my pleasure to answer them.
Who are the Immaculates?
We are the chosen ones of the goddess. The benedictions of the blood render our bodies and spirits unblemished, for such is her mercy, that we may all become part of the sacred soul. And you too, Seeker, could become one such part.
Tell me more about the conduit.
The conduit, yes. She, the most exalted of all, second only to the goddess. It was she who brought us first her divine words, then her divine will, a will made real in blood. Truly, though, she is quite beyond your concern, O wandering soul. She stands so very high above your humble station.
Tell me about the goddess.
The goddess is the light and life of all. Corrupt is the world that generations of men and beasts have left behind, but immaculate it may be once more, cleansed in the blood of the unworthy. The few, the proud, the enlightened, theirs will be her kingdom. When red has run until no red is left, a paradise we will have shapen, and the goddess will dwell among us.
Book of Immaculates.
Diligently will I read the words of the goddess.
Adventurous Field Guide. 15.
Goddess to become enlightened.
Where is it?
Bow before the goddess and bow
Lower
before
levels.
her mouth.
I have no interest in joining the cult. Not even as a way to infiltrate things. I mean, I wouldn't believe it for a second. Not with a group like this. So we're gonna brute force our way if it becomes a difference between infiltration or just using force. Nadia and Sebi.
Hello and welcome to our shop. I am the son of the proprietor, Nadia. Please let us know how we can help you.
Tell me about yourself.
You've probably noticed that my mother Nadia and I aren't from around here. No. We traveled rather far from our hometown to plant new roots here in Silver Glen. My father, Ben, his death was somewhat mysterious. And we've traced the puzzle back to this little settlement. My mother will have plenty to say on that subject, if you're interested.
Tell me about Ben.
My father was a good man, equal in character to his wife. His death nearly destroyed us, Ma and me. But now we're here, and we won't leave until we've held the proper parties accountable for their role in his death.
Tell me about Nadia.
Ma's a bit intense, to be sure. set in her ways, but fiercely loyal to the family. Help her out and you've got a friend for life. Cross her, and you'll be better off skipping town. Not that that'll stop her from cursing your line for the next 1,000 cycles of Bendis.
Blank skillbook water, blank skillbook witchcraft. More essences. A lot of stuff that I have no use for. So I don't know the goddamn recipes. And I'm sick of trying too much. I don't understand why they're all hoarding the skill books anyway.
Farma Malbenita, a source hunter in Silver Glen. I have traveled mile on top of mile to find help, and now help has, how you say, appeared from skinny vapors.
Tell me about yourself.
My story? Well, this is no small tale. I think perhaps you will be more interested in the, how you say it, the short end of stick. I believe Lawrence, the leader of Mining Guild, tell my husband and many of other workers to mine deadly ore called tenebrium. Lawrence knew that this ore caused rot. Charming name, no? Yet ordered the miners to continue. Many men, my Ben among them, become the sickness. And now they, how you say, kick down the bucket. But the sickness, it is not normal. It kills swift and terrible, not unlike Source. My son Sebi and I travel from our home to find truth. But this has proven not so easy.
Tell me about your son.
When his father died, Sebi became restless. Being of the age, he joined army and go straight to front line. Though I was nearly old woman, I joined army as healer to be near and look after my boy. There we saw special legionnaire using strange weapon. And this legionnaire soon come to my tent with the same disease that killed Ben. I discovered the tenebrium ore in this weapon. It was the ore that killed them both. I come to Silver Glen to discover truth. And here I find Lawrence, that arrogant man, conducts his business without apologize to any.
Tell me about your husband.
My sweet little Pomargo Vizago, my darling Ben. We got along like, how you say, peas and ferrets. But here there is work, very well paid, in mines, clearing special rock from silver mine. So he leaves Sebi and I to come to Silver Glen. We wait with hearts like stones for some months. And one day we see familiar figure moving with strange steps on path toward cottage. We run to meet him and take him into our arms, but he collapsed at our touch. We help him inside and set him to rest. But he was in terrible condition. Each hour he grow worse, rot so fast we hardly recognize him after 2 short days. He slip away from us, and we bury him with much grief.
So you need help proving Lawrence knowingly encouraged the miners to handle tenebrium.
Exactly this. Please, Source Hunter, you must help me prove that Lawrence made his workers to mine deadly tenebrium. For your help, I offer blessing from my homeland. Se vi mal successos, mi plantos rizzarbo cae tormenti via nepos obgiai branco. Translation is difficult, but it means something like, if you fail, I will plant cherry tree and haunt your grandbaby beneath branches. Good luck.
Water absorption shield. Fire resistance. Shield specialist lockpicking hit points. Actually increases movement. Shields usually, especially the metal shields, are a drag on movement. Fireman's strong robe of coagulation. Immunity to bleeding. Fire resistance, water resistance. There's nothing too interesting here. Nothing too terrible either, just meh.
I will do my best to give answers, Source Hunter.
How are you getting along in Silver Glen?
I have not found scrap of civilization among these apes. Sebil longs for heaping plate of my famous sire mule, but the local fairs support no fine food, unless squirrel meat inspire you. As for neighbors, well, those cultists would rather sacrifice supper to goddess than eat it.
Tell me about Lawrence.
May Zalmoxis strike him down, the murderer! I have one goal in Silver Glen, to make him share in the suffering he caused. I am certain he has gained from making those miners take the tenebrium. Now I have only to prove it.
What do you know about tenebrium?
Nothing natural could cause such terrible disease at mere touch. If you ask me, I say dark magic, maybe even source at its root. Fuck that foul thing!
So you've seen rot in action then?
A terrible disease. It transforms flesh of living into flesh of corpse, while infected person still lives. Arms grow black and heavy, legs grow black and heavy, hair rots from scalp. Cielo helpo min! Oh, what memories I have.
Probably can't pick any of this crap. More Book of Immaculates. I don't think it's even okay to read the books you can steal, right? Which is sort of infuriating. Smithy, but no smith. But here we can steal everything. No. Ah, god damn it. I have an extra hammer that I don't want. What I want is the nails. A pouch. Robust male bracers. You can keep them. Curved sword. The woman, the archer woman that we could take in our party is probably a better character here. I think she had a tenebrium skill. And an archer would work fairly well. Not sure I want to get rid of anyone though. But she would work better. Is there a reason to go in here? Always a reason to go in there. Nadia shop. I'm more or less just interested in reading some of this stuff. Nadia's cellar.
Striking it rich!
Yep. Perhaps not yell that out while you're sleeping. Yep. Don't pickpocket the goddamn creature, just talk to it. I hate clicking on the fucking rats.
I hear Nadia whispering all kinds of accusations about Lawrence, but until she has proof, whispers they'll remain.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. vintage claymore. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Where is it exactly? It's probably an upgrade to your look. Yeah, I don't... It's for a higher level character though. I don't really see a downgrade. Infectious Flame, Master, Pyrokinetic. Has a magical flame that forks on impact and does 100 to 121 fire damage to each target. Chance to set burning. Forks up to 5 times, looking for the next target in a 7-meter radius. Can target terrain to create a fire surface, burn ooze, evaporate water, or melt ice. This is probably the most valuable thing we need. Bardage. Massive level difference. The steel crossbow good. It is fairly good. Level 9, dexterity 9. It's where the crossbows are, you can't really move with them and they're costly to attack with. They have good range. However, you should be able to use master skills. Level is high. Level 15! What a load of horseshit. So why the fuck am I been raising my skills? So the first time you can use master level things is around level 15? That's 6 levels from now. So what's the goddamn point in raising this skill? Because I'm not getting any extra adept levels spells or novice levels things. It's the only purpose is to get the master level abilities, which you can't even take because they're level restricted. So shit, this is gonna be so much easier to play on the second playthrough. So much easier. The point I'm sort of complaining about is really what did I gain from making the sacrifices here of not developing lower level skills, to widening my options, and the answer is you literally cannot gain any real benefit from it, not on the skill front. With other abilities there is a direct benefit. Pisses me off a little bit. It's not like we've been struggling because of that, so there's no real impact that would cause you trouble. It just, you could have done so much better if you would have known that. I think a good solution would have been to simply offer put a master level spellbook on sale somewhere, for example, where you usually sell the spellbooks. So you can see what you require in order to get it. You see, it's totally pointless to buy it on a level 6 or 7 character because you need more than double your levels before you can even try to learn it. Not sure how big of a town this is. There's no way in hell we can wrap this up quickly. That's a possum thing in my book. It can lead to us wandering around for quite a long time. Lawrence's office. I feel we should go to Lawrence once we have a fairly good layout of the land, so we know exactly what we're getting into with him.
Hi there, cutie pie. Wanna have a good time?
Ruby.
Tell me, sweetie, do you have someone, or are you always...
Look at you, sugar. Oh, I could take you on a ride neither of us would soon forget.
So,
Do you believe in the
snail.
gods, baby? Because you're the answer to all my prayers.
These
Where would you use soap?
Half as dumb and twice as mean.
I'm assuming it's not for
At least
washing
they don't have
yourself.
that distinct
So,
underside of a bridge aroma.
Better that than reeking of fresh blood.
Come hither, sweetheart.
is it a tool of some sort or is it a kind of component?
I'd have a galaxy in my hand.
Tell me more about yourself.
No, sugar. That's a story for another day, ain't it? Speaking of, yours and mine has hardly begun. What say we get better acquainted upstairs? I've got all kinds of,
Questions?
Oh, go right ahead, sweetheart.
What's your take on Silver Glen?
Darling, I don't hardly recognise this place no more. Everything's changed since those silly Immaculates came into vogue. The miners, they used to spend their last penny on a backwards glance from yours truly. But now, they'd rather pray than play. Ugh, I just don't understand it.
What do you think about the Immaculates?
They just stand around and praise the so-called goddess all day long. I've no idea who she is, but apparently she gets her kicks from having blood sprayed all over her. Now, I knew a girl once who was into that kind of stuff. Her clients used to call her goddess and mistress too, but there was precious little divine about her.
In my day, I'd have a galaxy in my hand.
I feel Ruby will have her uses. Alternatively, she's gonna get murdered or something like that. Should have bought the soap. It was fairly cheap. The only soap I've seen so far. These should be fairly standard storage areas.
Now to find out what effect that had.
Yeah, I'm sort of curious too. I'm sure it was super important. Summon armored undead decapitator. Rapier. I think this is a dexterity. Next tier of dexterity weapons. Level 13 to use properly though. I guess she's the waiter.
Oh, you startled me. Let me compose myself. Hello, stranger. How can I help you?
Uh, what can you tell me about yourself?
Oh, me? Oh, I'm just the waitress around here, as you can see. My husband, Blossius, is a legionnaire currently stationed in Sicil, but I haven't heard from him in far too long.
Yeah, about your husband. I have here his will.
His will? But that means he's... Oh, no! Oh, not my cutie, broody buttercup!
Well, we got free experience out of that, and that's one job done. Aramintai, Hyber, Crethon. Quite a few named people here. I think I'll talk with the people around here and leave it at that.
Watch where you're going. These beauties will pierce you to the bone. So, do you fancy a trade then? Come now, before my ale arrives.
Arrows.
Ever shot a bullseye in your sleep? Well, no wonder with your skill book as empty as all that.
Yeah, archery, archery, archery. You goddamn rats.
Brandon's the best overseer there ever was. No one's a more eager miner than he is. Wonder how he avoided catching rot, though.
Brendan, how did you avoid catching rot? Flexes his muscles menacing. Yeah, empty perfume bottles. More of
Praise the goddess. I've passed the trial.
Friend, this is most excellent news. Welcome to the Immaculate
Lance
Throne.
of Vitality.
Yes, I can feel
A
the
piercing
goddess's
damage to
vigor
him.
coursing through my very veins.
That's interesting. The big problem with slashing is that we didn't necessarily need the crushing damage. We needed anything else but slashing. So piercing would also do. Yeah, not selling anything master level here either. Yes, one. Flurry. Attack with a flurry of your main weapon and deal 29 to 48 slashing damage with each strike. Requires level 12. Okay, this is much more reasonable. It's only a couple level ups away. Depends on your main weapon damage rating, so it's probably much higher on a actually fighter. 69 to 88.
These goblins are worse than the trolls. Half as dumb and twice as mean.
At least they don't have that distinct underside of a bridge aroma.
Better that than reeking of fresh blood.
You dare disturb my rumination? It must be that you can hardly wait to purchase an ingredient or two for a very urgent recipe. I'll forgive this imposition if you'll make me a generous offer.
A lot of essences, blank skill books, grenade components. But what I need is recipes. None of this shit is gonna be all that useful to me without additional recipes. Or crafting equipment.
Oh, dear. You'll hardly impress the conduit with such a clouded look about your eyes. But not to fear. I've just the potion for that.
Oh. You haven't any ale, have ya? Well, never mind for now.
What sort of magical relics can I offer you? Blessed by the goddess they are, each and all.
Yeah, the traders have adapted to this little town quite nicely. Blessed by the goddess indeed. Reflect damage, water absorption shield, air resistance, water earth resistance, fire resistance, lucky charm +2. Nothing particularly interesting. I suppose fire essence. Don't really have a use for.
Give one of the comfort folk a visit, if you're in the mood. I recommend Ruby for her imagination. But Ramon's fierce as a wildcat, if that interests you.
Ramon and Ruby, right. Why do they exist? I mean, it's not exactly out of place if there are some prostitutes in a mining settlement like this. More in the line that usually these games don't put a lot of effort into such characters unless they play some other part. Bomisha.
Quite a fine skeleton beneath that hide of yours, isn't there? Yes, a lovely, sturdy thing. I bet it'll last 100 generations, if treated properly.
Hello, creepy woman. Sharp long dagger. What are our master level scoundrel abilities anyway? Level 12, so we have some time before we could even theoretically take them. Plant a monstrous egg in a nearby target. Well, unless the target resists or succeeds a saving throw using Constitution, his mortal shell will give way to a monster as it comes out after 3 turns. That's a very specific type of a skill. It also takes a huge amount of time to actually get anything done. I'm not sure if that's worth it. Thinking about, for example, all the fights previously, how many times does anything that could reasonably fail at the saving throw survive 3 turns? We wouldn't let it live, we wouldn't tank his damage, so it'd be very, very situational. To the point where, why not just summon something, if that's what you want to go for. Any master level witchcraft? No. Mute. Right, nothing of real interest. I suppose we could loot the chest for some reason. Downstairs. This doesn't look like a large... well, the map is actually massive, but it doesn't look like a huge area. Doesn't also look like a fighting area, but we did press a switch. Razzle dazzle. Blindness. Those starting to be fairly expensive. Almost 200 for a single grenade. Yeah, we pressed the switch on the other side of this. Why? What good did it do? There doesn't appear to be anything special about this place, also nothing particularly locked or anything. So why exactly was there a switch here? It's highly suspicious. No doubt it affected something in this place. But what? Problem with buttons. You haven't actually taken a look there on about the area where the change happens. You might not easily spot the change anymore. Nothing looks especially out of place. It could be that's not something that can be highlighted. It could be a fairly small thing. Suppose there's a place to rest, but we hardly ever need that. Yeah, something changed, but we don't know what changed. Wine and ale. Maybe it's a chance to spy on something happening in the other area. But at the same time, what the hell does the button have to do with that? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'll leave things here. Should I switch Medora to the bear's daughter? I don't know, she's sort of the only one we can really rely on, but at the same time, I suppose when we stumble upon Attenborough, then we'll have to switch. The companion was looking for Attenborough, so if we want to do anything with her, we probably need to find a solution to that. Also, can I talk to you? Do you have anything? Are you just a random miner, or? What is this? Fluid state. Don't have it. Take a trimmer grenade or something. Right, this is what we should be doing. Talking to every random son of a bitch in the hopes of actually hitting on some kind of a useful item. We've read it for something. This is a problem when the books are spread about. Or I've read it at a table somewhere and haven't picked it up in the inventory. It's impossible to know what exactly have I actually great. Right, anyway, leaving things here.